We could introduce, there's so many people here that we could introduce. Thank you all for being here. So you can't introduce everybody. I probably want to then just introduce the most important person in the crowd today, and it's going to surprise you, but literally he is the most important person probably in a lot of ways. The leader, we have the most enthusiastic student body in the whole country here at Grand Canyon, especially around our basketball program, and a lot of it has to do with the leader of our Havocs, who is here today, Brandon Kaiser. Raise your hand, please. I don't mean the rest of you aren't important, but he is the most important guy. Thank you for being here. It's really hard to believe that 5 years ago at this campus we had 900 students. We had 3 colleges. We had a struggling Division II athletic program, and we had no fine arts program. 5 years later, we are going to start the fall with 15,000 students, up from 900. The average incoming GPA of those students will be nearly 3.6, which means we are building the strongest student body in the state of Arizona, and we're very proud of them for that. We now have 8 colleges and 180 programs, up from 3 colleges. We also have a Division I athletic program with 22 sports that we're extremely proud of. And we have a fast-growing fine arts program that's winning awards all over the Southwest. And so things have happened fast here, and people ask a lot about why it happens. There are a lot of reasons, but the biggest reason is that you get the right people together, and then you keep adding the right people. And we have a specific definition for that. We weren't given any tax dollars, and we don't have any big donors, so we had to earn everything that we have through the public markets. There's a lot of risk involved there. There's a lot of work involved, and there's a lot of people that are involved to make that happen. So as we add people, what we have to do is we have to keep looking to add people who represent that in their life. I don't have to talk about Mr. Colangelo. We're so blessed to have him. Other than to say, of all the stories that he tells, the one that most impacts our students, because they tell me, is that when he signed his first general manager's contract with the Phoenix Suns decades ago, he wanted in his contract an option to buy the team. Gives you an idea of how a young person already has belief in themselves and the future and their ability to impact the future when they're given nothing. Most of you also know Coach Marley's story, and Mr. Colangelo is going to talk about that. But he's from Michigan, and he didn't play at Michigan or Michigan State. He played at Central Michigan. He was booed when he was drafted, and he lasted 14 years in the NBA. That impacted us a lot. Those are the kinds of people that we need here, because nothing is handed to us. It's not given to us. We got to earn it. So you need people like that. When we interviewed Coach Stankiewicz, I remember a lot of what he said, but the thing I most remember was that he played 10 years of professional baseball before he got his first chance to play in the major leagues. You have to have a lot of belief in yourself to work through the minor leagues for 10 years before you get your shot. People like that don't give up easy, and those are the kind of people we're trying to bring here. The fourth person is a person I'm getting to know very well and getting to be good friends with, and we're very happy he's here. He's our new athletic director, Mike Vaght. When we interviewed Mr. Vaght, what I most remembered was his decision to go be a part of the coaching staff at the Naval Academy, to become the offensive coordinator, and to lead the nation in rushing. That doesn't happen at the Naval Academy. That's a tough job. You earn everything you get there. But those 4 people have become part of our team in the last couple years, and if we can continue to bring on those kinds of people, what we most want to impress on people is don't think that this will take the time period it usually takes, because it's not going to. This is going to move just as fast as the university is moving because of the kinds of people that we have here and how we're willing to work together as a team to get it done. So thank you for all of your support. This is typical of what we do at Grand Canyon. People show up to support each other. It's the biggest reason I'm here and love being here. So thank you for being here. And with that, I would like to bring up our new athletic director, Mr. Mike Vaght.
Thanks for coming. We're going to have a lot of fun today. These events are always great. And I want to begin by, on behalf of our student athletes, thanking the media for being here today. It's really important that we get our message out. Our student athletes work hard. And the media here, we really appreciate, I know you got busy schedules, and we really appreciate you being here with us today to cover this great event. Kind of like President Mueller said, I've been at some great institutions. University of Arkansas, Naval Academy, Rice, SMU, a lot of places, but I've never been at a place that moves as fast as this one. Dan and I were just talking. I've parked in dirt, a parking lot, and I've had 2 offices, and I got here in November. So there's a lot going on this campus, right? There's a lot of positive energy going on this campus right now. It's a feel, it's a spirit when you walk across the campus. That's what got me interested when I made my first visit here at GCU. But it's all about people and leadership. And President Mueller and his team, they have a vision and an action list. And a lot of organizations have a vision, but they don't have an action list. And we've got an action list, and we're on a fast track to greatness here, so it's going to be a lot of fun. I want to just highlight, we've had a great year in athletics. Our men's basketball program finished second in the conference, had a signature win against New Mexico. Our baseball team won the WAC championship, and I'm just going to read off some of their wins. Tennessee, Kansas, UNLV, Cal Poly, Texas Tech, who just happened to knock TCU out of the Big 12 tournament the other day. And individually, in conference play, 45 individual conference champions and 3 team championships. And with over 400 student athletes, an average grade point of 3.4. So I talk to our staff all the time about don't forget why we're here. We get caught up in all this other stuff, but we have jobs because of student athletes, and that's why we're here. So I'd like for you to give our student athletes a round of applause on a great season. You know, we've heard us say we have a vision to be top 25 in everything we do, and that's from winning ball games to cutting the grass on our field to having top 25 press conferences like you're attending today. This is top 25. And we also talk about striving for perfection and accepting excellence. And the next man I get to introduce is all about excellence. He's all about integrity. He's become a good friend and a great mentor to me, and I personally appreciate what he's doing for our school and our program. And I'd like for you to give a great GCU welcome to Mr. Jerry Colangelo.
Thank you, Mike, Brian. Good morning to everyone. Good to see such a big crowd, and I just have to make this comment. It's great to see purple, as much purple, because you have to understand, many years ago, I brought purple to town with the Suns, and then the Diamondbacks, and somewhere along the way, it got lost. But I think it's coming back in a big, big way with GCU. So that's great. It's a privilege for me to be associated with this university and to see all the things that are being done, and Mike and Brian covered a lot of that. So I want to focus really on the announcements, which are really significant in my opinion. You know, I spent 45 years in professional sports, and I had a habit of tearing up contracts. Coaches' contracts, player contracts. And the reason I did things like that was I truly believed that if someone did such a job that they over expectations, they were entitled to more. That's being part of a team effort. People need to be rewarded whenever that's possible. And so today is a classic example of that philosophy under Brian Mueller and his staff, and a little push from me when I think it's required or necessary. So I'm really happy to make a few announcements regarding coaches first before we get to the Nike deal. So I want to start with our baseball coach, Andy Stankiewicz. You know, back in 1998, that was the first year of the Diamondbacks, and that was an exciting time, Major League Baseball coming to the Valley. And of course, it was only 4 years later that we won a World Series, and that was even better. But Andy was one of our original D-backs back in 1998. Brian mentioned that he played, you know, a number of years in the majors, but he paid his dues to get there. And your last stop in the majors was with the Diamondbacks. And then he went on to do all kinds of things. He's a lifer in baseball. That's who he is. And he's done an incredible job here at Grand Canyon with the baseball program. And today, what we're really happy and pleased to announce that Andy has earned his keep. He's done a great job. His contract is basically being torn up, and it's a new 4-year contract to reward him for a job well done. So let's give a great welcome to Andy Stankiewicz.
Well, good afternoon, and thank you, Mr. Colangelo, for that flattering speech. It did take a while for me to get to the big leagues, and the reason I took a while is I just wouldn't go away. I just couldn't think of it doing anything else with my life, and so I just kept doing it, and before you know it, I got an opportunity. So I was very appreciative of that for sure. First, let me say this: my families were indebted to this university. When I first took this job 4 years ago, I was with the Seattle Mariners in professional baseball, and I had a good position there, and I had a lot of people. I told my boss then that I'm going to take a job at Grand Canyon University. It's a Division II baseball program in the middle of Phoenix, 35th and Camelback. They thought I was crazy. And here's why. The reason I accepted this position here is because I met with the administrative staff, Brian Mueller and Stan Meyer, Dan Backus, and the rest of the team, and I caught the vision. You'll hear Mr. Mueller talk a lot about vision. And his vision was very clear for what he wanted to do here at Grand Canyon, not just in athletics, but just the entire university. And so you're seeing, you know, that administration, its vision fall into place. And I had the same vision for the baseball program. I took it because I love a challenge, and I felt like we could build something pretty special here at this university. I like the intimacy of a smaller university versus a state school, and I like what Grand Canyon stands for, and its principles and its faith. All that, I felt like it was an opportunity that I didn't want to pass up, and so I'm appreciative to what Mr. Mueller and his team has done. I'm appreciative to Mike Vaght and Keith Baker. There's a number of endless people here that, you know, I need to thank. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here without them. Tim Griffin, who's instrumental with our players. Brian Beltramo, who works with FCA and he meets with our players regularly. This goes on. My coaching staff has been crucial. They work hard. They don't stop. We ended the season less than 2 weeks ago, and 3 days into the midweek, we're making phone calls and recruiting. They don't stop. They make me look good, and sometimes it's really all their work. So certainly appreciative of that. I'm appreciative of my family, and my wife and my kids. Long hours that we spend at practice, and we are traveling, and I miss their games. They know Dad's at work, and Dad loves what he's doing, and I don't think that they'd want it any other way. And so it's not easy to balance all that, but I'm very fortunate to have their support. When I took this job, I remember myself and our assistant coach, Coach Choate, they were just building a dorm, one of the 15, I think, that are going up right now. And we snuck up late in the afternoon. We snuck up to the top floor Nobody was here anymore, and the arena wasn't finished yet. And so it was just, the roof wasn't on, and we sat, and we were standing there. I'm looking out, and I said to Coach Choate, I said, we're either being really, really tricked, or this is going to be an incredible move that we're going to make here. And obviously, we weren't tricked. This place is legit in every sense of the word. The way the teachers work with our players, to the way that they support. It's one thing I think, to have your president and your administrative teams say, hey, we really believe in you, go get them. But they're at every game. Every time I've said, hey, can we get a new machine for our players or whatever it may be, there's no hesitation. So that doesn't happen very often. And I think our guys know that as well. Our coaching staff knows that. Our players know that. They realize that what's going on here is very special. And it's something that obviously, when I was offered a contract extension, I'm excited about it. In 2018 is when we're postseason eligible. And in 2018, we're going to make some noise. So thank you. Thank you for being here.
You know, Andy touched on a number of things, but I remember as a young boy, I had a mentor in the old Italian neighborhood who said something to me, a lot of things that he said to me, but one of his pearls of wisdom was, remember, it only costs a few pennies more to go first class. Now, he was wrong about the cost, but I got the idea. And that's what Grand Canyon University is all about. It's first class, without question. All right, now we'll switch over to another round ball, a bigger round ball, basketball. Dan Majerle. Few stories on Coach Majerle, going back to his presence coming to Phoenix. He was drafted in the middle of the first round. The doctors who examined him at the pre-draft workout said, you can't really depend on him because he's got some real issues health-wise. He had pins in his ankles, he had a bad back, he's going to have a short career. And I remember responding to the doctor, I said, did you make 2 incisions? He said, what do you mean? I said, did you make an incision over the heart? And did you make an incision up here? Because only then would you find out who he really is. So we drafted him to a round of booze. Cotton Fitzsimmons, who was our director of player personnel then, actually made the call, and he said to the crowd, you will woo the day you booed this young man. And it was only a matter of months before he had captured the hearts of the fans here in Phoenix. And to have the kind of a career that he had really symbolized who he was in terms of his heart and his commitment, his work ethic, etc. Fast forward to a discussion that I had with Brian Mueller about the basketball situation here and the desire to become a Division I member. That was very important for our future at Grand Canyon. And so that discussion led to, let's go for it. And as far as the coaching situation, Dan Majerle is the guy. Now, there were a few questions about Dan, not in terms of character, but this was going to be new. This was a new endeavor for him as a head coach in college. This was a change. He spent his time in the pros. And so I think he hit the ground running when he took the job, and he hasn't stopped since. His work ethic is unparalleled. He's totally committed. He's totally loyal. And he can still play. I wish we could activate him once in a while. But I don't think we'll see that. He went on to become one of the all-time favorite players ever with the Phoenix Suns. but that's because he earned it. Just as he earned what is being announced today, which is the fact that his contract has been torn up and he's been given a new 4-year contract, and it puts him in very, very good stead around the country in terms of compensation, but he's earned it. And so let's give him a nice hand. Coach Dan Majerle.
Thank you. Great day. I want to appreciate and welcome everybody here. I'm going to start off by thanking a few people because I think, as you know, you can never accomplish anything by yourself. It always takes a lot of people. And I tell my kids and I tell kids that I talk to that you have to surround yourself with good people and people of like mind. And I've definitely done here at GCU. This is an amazing campus, faculty, staff, student body, everybody. Leadership team all the way down. I'm lucky to be at this place, and only good things are going to happen because of it. I've been involved with some great organizations, starting off with Mr. Colangelo at the Phoenix Suns, with the Miami Heat, Cleveland Cavaliers. GCU's right at the top of the list, bar none. This is an amazing place. I'd like to thank all the media for coming out. There's a lot of you out there that I've known for a long time. I appreciate you coming. As Mike Vaght said, you have a lot of things to do. I think it's important that the GCU message gets out to people in Phoenix. This is an amazing place and what we're doing. I'm not just talking about sports or basketball. I'm talking about everything with the vision of what we have for this community, the West Side, Phoenix. Great things are happening here, and people in the Valley have to know about it. Congratulations to Andy. Winning the WAC this year, you set the bar high, as a lot of coaches do. Here at GCU, it only makes me want to work harder to accomplish our goals. All the other coaching staffs and their people they work with, especially the Building 25, Kaibab. I'm in there all the time, and I just drive everybody in there nuts. It's my job to do that. I have a lot of energy in the morning, especially after like the 3rd cup of coffee. So sorry about that, but I appreciate the friendships that I've had there. There's a couple people that's been here since day one that's helped me out. Keith Baker, Tanisha, Mark Nelson, Chuck Howard, Mike McNally, Jen, who always fills my candy dish. Little lax lately, by the way. But all those people helped me make the transition from being a professional coach to the college area. So all those people I see daily and have been there for me since day one. Also like to thank, and we'll talk about this probably a little later, is Nike. I've been with Nike since 1988, my first year as a player. I think it's huge for this university. I've been in Nike school. Recruits love Nike shoes, and that's big for us. So for us to be with Nike is always big, and plus my closet from head to toe is nothing but Nike, so it would cost me a lot of money to go otherwise. My coaching staff, as Andy said, they work extremely hard. The last 2 years would not be as successful as they have been without their commitment, their desire, their passion, the way they come to work every day. Ash, Deche, who do a lot of things behind the scenes, Derek, our strength coach, Luke, TJ, Chris, and especially my associate head coach, Todd Lee, who does all the things that I have no idea what I'm doing because of the college atmosphere, and I'm learning. He's done a great job of that. I'd like to thank my players that are here today, both past and present. I expect a big year out of you guys this year, so you should get in the gym as soon as we're done here. The executive team, we like to call them the 3 wise men. Dan Backus, Stan Meyer, and Brian Roberts for everything that you've done. Mike Vaght, he's been here a short time. He's talked about it. He's done a great job in this short period. With his leadership and, again, with his vision, there's only great things ahead. I really appreciate your friendship. Thank you very much. Mr. Colangelo, as he told you the story, drafted me in '88, took a chance on me. And then coming here, I couldn't have a better friend and a mentor. I lean on him every day, and I'm telling you every day. I call him, I ask him questions, I bounce ideas off of him. I'm very lucky, and I tell our recruits this all the time. This is the most important man in the world in basketball, and that's no lie. And to have him a phone call away or to be here to just counsel and add advice is unbelievable. President Mueller, his vision, enthusiasm, character, energy, commitment is unbelievable. Just hearing him speak gets me pumped up. You know, he is so excited about what's going on here, and I can probably guarantee you there's not another president at any other university that sits down. I bring a recruit on campus. He sits with them for as long as it takes to discuss his vision, what he likes about GCU, where he thinks it's going, how he can help us, how he can help them. Takes the time to make sure that we're successful. You're not going to find that anyplace else. So I'm lucky to be surrounded by these people. AJ Soka's here, my best friend since 1988, runs Marley's Restaurants. I just said hi, have to say hi so I get my checks, so don't worry about that. You know, when Mr. Mueller, President Mueller signed me 2 years ago, I guaranteed him one thing. I said I would give him my all, my full commitment. And so today is very rewarding for me. I tell our recruits, the guys that we recruit every day when I go out, and I say, you know, this is a two-way street. We want you bad, but the only way it works is if you want to come here as bad. It doesn't work that we want you and you're like, oh yeah, maybe I'll come, and if I come, I'm going to help you out. No, you want to have to come here as much as we want you. Well, today proves that GCU really wants me, and that's a great feeling, but I can tell you this, I really want to be here, just as bad. I love it here. I got a taste of it at the beginning, and now I can't wait to keep it going. Exciting things are happening. More students, great crowds, beautiful schedule. We have Louisville and San Diego State, home and homes. We have Illinois, home and home. We'll be on the road at Illinois and Louisville this year. In 2016, we'll have Louisville and San Diego State playing on our campus. In 2017, we'll have Illinois playing on our campus. In 2016, we'll be playing in a tournament where we're playing one of the top teams in the country at their place. That'll be announced later. So if there's any indication of what the last 2 years have been like, I can't wait for the next 4, because it's going to be a heck of a ride. And I said this at my initial press conference. If you're not on the bandwagon yet, you better get on, because seats are going quick, because exciting things are happening. And I'm going to guarantee it right now. We're going to be top 25. We already are in a lot of things. But basketball, we will be top 25. And I said at the beginning, my goal, our goal, you guys listening, is to win a championship. And I'm not talking WAC. I'm talking winning a championship. Okay, that's what I shoot for. So once again, it's a pleasure. This is a great day. I'm excited to be here. And thank you very much. Thank you.
Last and not least, the announcement regarding Nike. Unfortunately, the guy who runs college basketball, the director of college basketball for Nike, Eric Lautenbach, was scheduled to be on a flight that left Portland at 5:30 this morning. He was to have arrived at 8 when I did from California, except his plane was canceled. And so he did not make it. He wanted to say a lot of things. If he were here, he would have done just that. About the relationships that are involved. You know, I've had a long-lasting relationship with Nike, as Coach Marley has. Phil Knight, the guy who started Nike, was actually a partner of mine in the baseball franchise, the Arizona Diamondbacks. He was an investor. And I've known him for decades. And so Eric is the guy who makes all the deals with all the major schools, the John Calipari's and Coach K at Duke and all the big timers who are Nike people, and most of them are, it's Eric. Eric is the guy. And so this announcement regarding Nike becoming committed, as they have been in a smaller way to this point, but going forward, this is a major announcement for Nike and for Grand Canyon University. If Eric were here, he would say, Before Gonzaga became Gonzaga, Nike was there. Before Butler became Butler, Nike was there. And he looks at what's happening at GCU on the come, that's the kind of a story that's unfolding here on our campus with this program. So it's a very extensive agreement, and what it involves is apparel and shoes for the coaches and student athletes for all 22 sports. There's a big emphasis on basketball, without question, because he's the point man on basketball. But I could only say to you that it's a good feeling to know that just in our third year of our journey to become eligible for the tournament, postseason tournament, 4-year probationary period, we're going into year 3, we've already been kind of picked out and selected and highlighted, because this deal is as good as a lot of the schools in the Big East, back in the Big East, and certainly compares very favorably with all the mid-majors. So it's a very formidable announcement. We're very excited about it. You're going to hear a lot more as we go forward. So I think with that, I'm going to ask President Mueller to come back and wrap it up for us. So those are the 3 announcements, and personally, thank you for being here.
Thank you very much. I want you to know Mr. Colangelo got on a plane at 6 a.m. this morning to get here on time for this press conference, and so I want to thank him for doing that. Mike, great job. Dan, Andy, great job. Everything was deserved. There are so many people in this room I'd like to recognize. Many of us have been working together for as many as 30 years. It takes a big group to make things like this happen, so thank you for working together and being part of this team. And we don't want you to go right back to work. There is a big lunch set up downstairs, and so as soon as this is over, feel free to go down there, spend time together before you go back to work. Everything is taken care of. And then lastly, if anybody from the press wants to come up and speak to any of these guys, I hope that you will, and we're going to do it right here. So thanks, everybody, for coming. It's been a great day.